हम सभी सामाइन और नाज़रीन को मेरी तरफ से मैं हूं ज़िशान और मेरे साथ होती है शादी और आमिर। लेकर आ गए हैं प्रोग्राम क्रिकेट स्पेशल। जी हाँ, T20 क्रिकेट वर्ल्ड कप जारी है साउथ अफ्रीका वेस्ट इंडीज़ और यूएसए में। बात करते हैं हम आपसे क्रिकेट के हवाले से, क्रिकेट वर्ल्ड कप के हवाले से और टीमें आजकल क्या कुछ कर रही है, कौन सी टीम कहाँ पे खड़ी है, परफॉर्मेंस क्या है, ग्रुप स्टेजेस क्या है, पॉइंट्स टेबल क्या है, रिजल्ट्स क्या है, ट्रिविया आपके लिए लेके आते हैं और कुछ स्टैट्स भी बताते हैं। तो वेलकम करते हैं शादी जी का। शादी जी, वेलकम टू द शो। कैसे हैं आप?
हेलो जी ज़िशान, मैं बिल्कुल ठीक हूँ। आज तो बड़े अच्छे लग रहे हो।
अच्छा, बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया, थैंक यू सो मच। आमिर, अस्सलाम वालेकुम, कैसे हैं आप?
वालेकुम अस्सलाम तमाम सामीन नाजरीन को और आप दोनों को भी अस्सलाम वालेकुम।
वालेकुम अस्सलाम। आज तुमने किस चक्कर में ये ग्रीन जो है ये पहनी है? अब तो तुम्हारी टीम बाहर है आमिर। ये किस चक्कर में ग्रीन पहना है?
अभी थोड़ी देर पहले आप और माजिद भाई कर रहे थे।
हाँ,
तो
क्या कर रहे थे?
एक वर्ड न्यूज़ कर रहे थे जो आप करती हैं, वही फालतू
अच्छा।
वो 4 धमाके इधर हो गए, 5 उधर हो गए,
अच्छा,
ट्विटर ने उसका
वो
गला काट
फालतू
दिया।
है?
नहीं मतलब वो फालतू नहीं, मतलब स्पोर्ट्स वालों के लिए तो वो धमाके, वी आर वेरी माइल्ड पीपल, राइट? अच्छा, वी लव स्पोर्ट्स। तो उस पर माजिद भाई ने कहा था देयर इज ऑलवेज टुमारो।
हाँ, अच्छा, चलो ठीक है, ओके। तो आज हमारे साथ कौन है?
हमारे तमाम सुनने और देखने वालों को मेरी तरफ से और आप दोनों को
ईद
मुबारक। चाहे आपने कल बनाई हो, आज बनाई है,
मैं दोनों दिन बना रहा हूँ।
हाँ, हम भी दोनों दिन मना रहे हैं भाई।
ओके शादी जी, टेल अस हु इज विद अस टुडे।
हमारे साथ है रेनल मेंडिस साहब।
ओके,
हाँ जी, तो ये हैं हाँ, वो हेड करते हैं जी ओंटारियो क्रिकेट क्लब्स एसोसिएशन जो है उसको, और बड़े हमारे आज के एस एक्सपर्ट हैं, उनके साथ हम बात करते हैं। हेलो रेनल, हाउ आर यू?
Very good, thank you. Thanks for having me. Good evening, everyone.
Yeah, good evening. Okay, Ranil, all these matches that you have seen since the start of the World Cup, what is your take on it? Because the pitch has not been behaving the way perhaps the batsmen wanted, and even it was not really very much helping the bowlers. And I'm specifically talking about the pitches in US. What do you have to say about it?
Well, having had the first-hand look at both the New York as well as the Dallas pitch, I have to tell you there are some concerns, particularly the one in New York. But listen, these folks, all these cricketers, are international cricketers. One of the key requirements of an international cricketer would be to able to their ability to adapt and face different pitches, different weather conditions, and that is the test of a global cricketer. And that is what Wanindu Hasaranga, the Sri Lankan captain, after winning their last match yesterday, and going home after failing to qualify Sri Lanka, that's what he said. He said, "I'm not blaming anything on the pitches because it works for both parties." So that's all I have to say about the pitches.
Yeah, that's right. How disappointed you were when Canada, playing very, very well, showing some strength, also lost its touch all of a sudden in the middle of the game, and then it was absolutely out.
That was you know what? Yeah, we can say anything about the loss, but that was a fantastic. I was so lucky to be there in Dallas watching that 190 something. They fought
194.
What an inning that Aaron Jones! What an inning! And it's an excellent cricket match. As a cricket fan, regardless of the outcome, it was a great game. Lucky to be there in person, and good luck to USA. I mean, they made it all the way to the Super 8, and let's cheer them all. And that is all good for North American cricket. I unfortunately, Canadians, I think we gave a good fight for that match. That should have been won easily. And then we went and beat Ireland, which is a very good sign for cricket in Canada.
Okay. How positive you are, or how enthusiastic you are about cricket one day coming to Canada? I mean, the T20 World Cup or World Cup, the 50 over World Cup coming to Canada.
I mean, cricket purists, I used to be one coming from the older generation. We love the test cricket, the strategy that employs over 5 days. But it's all about the economy and how sustainable the game is. With things changing over the years and having to break into the North American cricket market, the governing committees of the governing bodies, they made a decision. T20 is the way to go to make the cricket really a global sport, which it is. And I think the T20 format, I think it's a very good thing that happened. Obviously, there are concerns from the folks like myself who love the game. I think those games, they have a separate market. They will continue. Look at some of the endings of the recent test matches. It has been very exciting. For cricket purists, they will follow that game. But for newer markets, there is absolutely no way other than the T20. For example, North America, a good example. We have a very, very short attention span, and T20 is the best medication for that.
Yeah. So do you see that coming to Canada one day?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, GT20 was there last year, and I understand it's coming again this July, and which is an international tournament, and that's a good thing to have. Look at the vibes it's making across the world, and the television market, as well as the politicians at the top decision makers getting involved in the discussions. It's a good thing.
You are, Ranil, the director of Ontario Schools Cricket Association, that is OSCA. What kind of talent do you see? Are you nurturing any talent here, or do you think that we lack talent? Maybe we need some talented old veteran cricketers to come here and, sort of hone the skills of these youngsters.
So, good question, and thanks for asking that. Ontario Schools Cricket Association has a completely different role to play as opposed to the governing bodies of Cricket Canada, Cricket Ontario, and leagues. What OSCA is doing is to whetting the appetite of school children who have never exposed to the game of cricket. And over the last weeks, we've been visiting. This is June. They're very busy at the school, end of the school. Our coaches are going across the province, Ottawa, London, Ontario, beyond the Greater Toronto area, into the physical education class. What do? We have a different role than what the governing bodies do. We are nurturing the skill sets and advancing the game, governing the sport. It's a different role, but breaking into new markets, just like the T20 is doing. We are going, when we go into a phys ed class, you have 50 kids throughout the day, 30 to 40 kids each period. We are meeting about 300-400 kids a day in a school. Imagine all the schools that we go to. So everyone who have never exposed to, including the teachers of the particular school, get exposed to the game. And then the vibes are going, oh, the kids love it. A lot of the time, what we are hearing from schools, oh, my kids love to play this game, but I am not very comfortable introducing. I didn't grow up with the game of cricket. So that is where we fit in. We go into that grassroots level, whetting the appetite of kids who have not played, and giving the others who are familiar another chance to feel comfortable and feel included in their passionate sport. So that's what we do as OSCA.
Yeah, that's a very, very good news that you have given, that you are actually sort of talent hunting in schools. But my question specifically was on talent. Do you see these kids who are coming to you or who you are scouting, do you see any talent, real talent, and you say, oh wow, one day this child can play for Cricket Canada?
Okay, let me name 3 names that is in the Canadian World Cup squad who travel. Saad bin Safar, the captain, Nikhil Datta, Ryan Khan Patan, all 3 were part of OSCA's program back when they were in high schools. So what I talked about the physical education class, then we also run a tournament which is called the Premier's Cup. Premier Ford has generously given us the ability to use the premiers of his name, which carries weight and the recognition. So that tournament was run by SEMA, which is our founding partner. When these three kids were in high school, they were part of a cricket team that we sent to England. All of the three names that I mentioned, they have traveled to England as part of the mayor's cricket team from Toronto and played cricket in England for a week. And similar to that, there are about 150 high school children that we have taken over 10-year period, and they got the chance to visit Lords and play in top-notch cricket grounds in England. And those three names, Ryan Kanpatan, Saad bin Safa, and Nikhil Datta. And look what the inspiration as high schoolers that they got by representing our city, and they continued the program. And this is just 3 names out of 150 kids. And on the other hand, we have doctors, technical engineers. Those 150 kids were the best ambassadors that we could have found. So to answer to your question, the talents we saw in high school, that's the level of talent we have seen. But unfortunately, our school system does not recognize cricket as a sanctioned sport. There's a governing body of school sports, which is called Ontario Federation of School Athletic Association. So they have, just like ICC recognizes countries where cricket is playing or not, OFSA recognizes school sports. Unfortunately, cricket is not a recognized sport in the Ontario education system because of lack of OFSA recognition. But we are very confident that with the growth that we are seeing and cricket, Canada taking part in the World Cup, the school system will recognize pretty soon.
Wow, that is some news. We didn't know about it. This is something.
Now we know.
Yeah. Wow, that's such a great news. My colleague Zishan would like to also ask you some questions.
Hey, Renil, how are you doing? Thank you for joining us.
Thanks.
Yeah, I'll talk to you about Super 8. The World Cup is going on in a few minutes. Let's talk about some local cricket or domestic cricket, as we were talking about it, and you and Shazia were discussing about it. I think that, as you mentioned, the cricket is growing sports, one of the growing sports in high school, so schools level, or it's very getting popular among the kids, especially in Ontario. Don't you think the progress is a little bit slow? Do you think you are struggling with the financial situation, or you do not have lack of facilities at the moment?
So lack of facilities is a huge problem. The high school cricketers, we are lucky to have some partnerships with the city of Toronto and all the cities, Brampton and Mississauga. And then for our tournament, Oscar tournament, we have a tournament every year. Apart from what we do in the physical education class, all the high school teams as well as middle school teams play for the Premier's Cup. So during that tournament, we provide these youngsters an opportunity to go to these facilities and play. However, you talk to any of the cricketing groups, the facilities is the number one problem. And within the school system, I would say another huge gap is the trained teachers. Our athletic staff, physical education staff, they are not very familiar with the game. So obviously it is not recognized in the schools. The school system don't have the capacity with the trained staff in schools, and that's where we fit in. Number 3, finances. When a particular sport is not recognized, when the principal of a school has a sort of very, very small recreational sport budget, where would you rather allocate your monies to, right? You would allocate your resources to sports that are recognized. So therefore, there are certain systemic barriers for sports to thrive, the cricket to thrive in schools, and that is why we are, as Ontario Schools Cricket Association, we are trying to increase that awareness by aligning ourselves with recognized trophies such as the Premier's Cup and also the Mayor's Trophy that is happening on this Saturday, which is not a schools event, but it is a Toronto event where Mayor Olivia Cho as well as prominent Torontonians come to play cricket, not to do anything competitive, but to celebrate the sport and increase the recognition and awareness. So to answer to your question, the short answer is that the capacity within the school system needs a big boost.
Okay, thank you. Just before going to Super 8 discussion, we will talk about Super 8 starting from tomorrow. From Wednesday. We have a lot of programs in regards to cricket training or educating young kids about the cricket. Now my question is, I don't see summer camps about the cricket. So why don't all the cricket boards come into a plan and we will have a cricket camp during the summertime for the kids? What do you think is missing is there? I mean, in summer, a lot of cricket is happening, but we don't see a lot of new kids are getting involved. There's a program, but you have to involve, and there's a money involved in it. There's a timing as well. Kids doesn't know much about this cricket. So why we don't have all the open door policy cricket camp during the summertime?
Okay, so I will speak to the cricket camp, but for the first time, I give credit to the city of Brampton. For the first time, city of Brampton is starting a cricket league where they are inviting.
Wow, you are giving us all the breaking news today, Rana.
Really good news.
This program should be called Breaking News Cricket.
I think this is a first for. I don't know, for anywhere in any other municipalities, I haven't heard this. And kudos to Mayor Patrick Brown and the City of Brampton recreational staff. They are running a league through the city. Never heard. And what they are doing is they are inviting the community to sign up their kids. And if they have problems with their finances, there are opportunities for them to apply for some kind of a subsidies. And then others, they can sign up. When a city gets involved in a league like this, what gives them much more recognition is because a government-run program. There are many leagues. They don't have facility. They don't have enough sports field to run their leagues. The teams are on the waiting list. But this something run by the city, providing recognition and for the sport is a big boost. So that is a league. You can speak to City of Brampton and they would love to give more details. I don't want to steal their thunder, but that's happening this summer in July. But let me speak to you about the sports camps. Ontario Schools Cricket Association was approached by the City of Toronto Parks Recreation just 2 weeks ago. They are having a camp. They want us to send some coaches, which we have happily supported with coaches. And you have to understand, when you look at these community cricket events, cricket camps, you don't need to have the high-level expertise. We are looking at recreational cricket. Community coaches who can volunteer their time, the parents coming and joining with their kids and coaching basics of cricket, and that's what we should be looking at this stage. And this is something, all they need is leadership, and leadership City of Brampton and City of Toronto have taken and shown, and I hope that will continue.
Well, hats off to Mayor of City of Brampton, Patrick Brown. He's doing a lot for cricket, bringing cricket back in Canada and reviving cricket in Canada. Let's talk about this World Cup. You see that teams like Pakistan, New Zealand and Sri Lanka have been kicked out in the first round.
Eliminated, absolutely.
And teams like USA, Afghanistan, Bangladesh are qualifying for Super 8. So what do you see overall this World Cup performances by the teams, and who do you think is the dangerous team right now in Super 8, beside India and Australia?
Yeah, I mean, I don't
You
know.
you you have been put in spot.
Not really. So what I'm saying is that of course, I've had a chance to watch two of them, the first and the third game. But I watched some really exciting games. South Africa was Nepal.
Right.
Just imagine how Nepal was going
Going
to the
through
last ball.
yeah.
They would have easily beaten South Africa. Just imagine that. Of course, we all talk about the Pakistan's loss to USA. Those are the good points, the highlights of this World Cup, because associate members got the chance to showcase their cricket,
Right.
and that inspires the country leadership to support cricket.
Yeah.
So Sri Lanka went, Pakistan went. The cricket in those countries will never die. Of course, they will complain, and I am one of them who supported Sri Lanka. But the cricket will survive. But imagine the boost the USA will get being able to qualify for the Super 8, and the noise that it makes, and what we saw in New York and everywhere about cricket. And that is a huge plus for cricket. And one other thing just happened today. We had a New Zealander who is going back home, bowled 4 overs, 4 maidens, and
Yeah.
took 3 wickets.
Trent
That's a world
Bolt.
record. And do you know who had that record before that? The only world
person,
cricketer
Yeah.
to have bowled 4 overs, 4 maidens, and taken 2 wickets
Saad bin Zafar.
up to this evening was Saad bin Zafar from Canada.
Canada.
Yeah.
And today, the New Zealander, I mean, good for them. At least they have something to take home when they go back. So these are my highlights of what I have seen so far. I'm looking forward to West Indies doing well for good reasons. I'm looking at a global perspective. I really would like West Indies to do well. I'm very happy that they made it, and given the fact that they didn't qualify for the ODI last year, and that was bad.
Okay, I will let Shadija speak after this question. We have done 3 seasons of GT20 Canada, and US had done only 1 MLS. Don't you think US put a lot of money already, and we are putting very less towards the GT20? Don't you think that we have to put more money into GT20?
Absolutely. I think the fact that they started it last year is a great thing, and I'm hoping. I have no insights about what's going behind the scenes, but what they did was great. We saw that's a start. Somewhere they had to start. I don't know the economics of it, what happened to the finances and all of that, but it is a great thing that they did, and the fact that the city of Brampton has been supporting that effort is once again a good thing, and good for the cricket capital of Canada, Brampton. And it's coming again, is what I'm hearing. I saw at least 2 or 3 posts about it. I think we will soon start to hear more details about GT20 this year.
Okay.
Oh, hello, Mendes. This is Ami here. How are you?
Hello, very good. Thanks for all the help this evening.
Finally, you are on the Skype.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
It's something I never use.
Zishan already asked for the money question, so now the money again. The money question is big question, because a lot of the South you already associate with the Ontario cricket, school cricket,
Schools Cricket
right? So
Association.
my son in a high school, right? So he played
Okay.
cricket. He's a very he's all rounder. He bowled and he bat as well, and he wants to play a cricket for the Canada as well. But as a parent, especially a South Asian parent, it's not my question. All of South Asian parents always talk to the children. No, this is, you can play cricket as in sports, but not as a profession.
Yeah.
So how we can change the mindset of our South Asians parents, because sometimes the money, the main reason is money. If you want to play cricket as for the Canada or as a profession, there will be a no future, right? So how we can, on the other hand, we are the G7 country, although, but on the other hand, we can go to Australia, New Zealand, England, even Pakistan, India. They all are professional players, and they are earning a good money as well. So where we are lacking? So what we have to take the initiate to put in the money in this game. So a lot of high school kids on other cricketer, they can love to play as a professional cricketer for Canada.
Right. That's a very good question, Amir. I think the reason is that I mean, this is a problem other countries have as well, but in our case in particular, with the level of cricket that we see in high schools versus at the club and the league levels and to be a professional cricketer, there's a huge gap. That is because we do not have a proper school cricket system that really creating pathways for greater. Most of our international cricketers, I can't even find a single name. I could be wrong here. Nikhil Datta would be one of them, I think, who have really taken their cricket from grade 1 in Canada and then gone on to play for Canada and to internationally. Yes. So there are very few exceptions, but most of others have played cricket elsewhere and come up to the standard and then go and play the international cricket. There are good reasons for it because we don't have advanced systems unless you are being guided and coached by a professional right through the career. Yeah. A school system we cannot rely on. The way the capacities, as I explained, all the difficulties in the school system to bring a young cricketer to that level. The answer to that question relies on the first steps that was taken by City of Brampton, which is to create a league that really resonate with young people and bring and nurture those talents. That's my...
Thank you, Renal. Before we let you go, let's talk about the Super 8 again. What is your favorite team, who you are cheering in Super 8, and your final 4 teams for the semi-finals?
So, I would like to see West Indies
of course.
In the final. That is my hope. Yeah.
What, 4 out of 8?
So okay, yeah. So the last 4.
I will give you 2.
Okay, 2.
India and West Indies.
India
How's
and West
that?
Indies. Okay.
What about South Africa and Australia?
I think the others will have different advantages when they play. I think so. This is my guess, and I could be wrong, but that's what I have seen because we have seen a lot of surprises, right? And,
so you think maybe Bangladesh and Afghanistan might be part of the 4?
I would add Afghanistan to it.
Okay.
Afghanistan, that can surprise. The usual suspects. I don't think will.
Usual suspects are India and Australia.
Very few of them will make. We've seen already in the first round how things have gone, and so that could be anything. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
All right. As you mentioned that you're working with the Ontario Cricket Association.
Schools cricketers.
Exclusively schools. Yeah.
Yes. Any message for parents who are listening right now?
Okay. So my message to parents is be inspired by what is happening in Canada. You may have seen challenges like you have just explained. There are challenges, obviously, yes. But we have come a long way compared to 20, 30 years ago to where we are today. Who would have thought that Canada will be playing in a World Cup, playing the very first opening game in the World Cup? So country has come a long way. There's a lot of support that is being given and recognition being given by cities like Brampton and Toronto, etc. And things are changing. There will be challenges, but be at it, keep at it, inspire your child, and I am pretty sure we'll get there one day.
All right, Renil, it was a pleasure talking to you. Thank you for coming with us again, and we will call you again as soon as...
Thank you for your time, and really appreciate talking to you.
Thank you, Renil.
so much.
Thank you.